Hi parents, it's Betsy with Easy Peasy. Hi kids. Today I want to talk to you about how to tie shoes the easy peasy way. So this is going to be two parts. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you step by step for the kids for how to do it and the words to say, because it's going to take a lot of practice to learn how to tie your shoes. And then after that, I'm going to give some really important tips to parents about how to teach your kids how to tie shoes that will help you a lot with the learning process. Okay, so let's get started. First, we have here our pretend shoe, kids. Okay, so we're going to start with this. Here's our shoe, and here's our laces. We have two laces, one in each hand. And we are going to make two bunny ears. 1, 2. This is kind of hard to do, so if you need to lay them down flat, you can to make 2 loops, okay? 2 loops like this. Then we are going to cross, make an X with them, like this. Make an X, and we can lay it flat to start with. See the X? We made an X like this. Then we're going to push one underneath. The one that's on top is going to go underneath. It's going to go through this hole down here. See the little tent? It's going to go under that way. The one that was on top is going to go underneath, and we're going to pull it like this. Then we have to do it again, the same thing. We have our 2 bunnies. We're going to make an X. See? Made an X. And then the one that's on top, that's closest to you, we're going to put it through the hole, and then we're going to pull. Okay? And there we have it. Now, there you go. So let's try that again. Ready? I'm going to try with a shoe this time. All right? So we make 1 loop, and we make 2 loop. So we have our 2 bunny ears, and then we're going to go make an X with our 2 bunny ears, make an X. See the X? And then the one on top is going to go under through the little hole, through the tent, and down. Then we have to do it again. Make another X. See the X? And then we're going to cross it over and go underneath again so that it ties, and pull it down. And there we go. All right. And here's my bunny to help us. All right. So here's Bunny. I'm going to lay him down so you can see his ears. All right. So here's his ears. We're going to cross them. Cross his ears. And we're going to put one through the hole. And we're going to pull it. Okay. So that's exactly what we're going to do with the shoelaces. We have to do it 2 times so that it stays. All right. So that's what, picture that in your mind. We make the 2 loops with our laces like ears, and then we cross them to make an X, and one goes through the hole. All right, and there you go. There's a tie. We have to do it 2 times so that it stays tied throughout the day. It doesn't fall out. Okay, parents, so this is going to take a long time and a lot of practice. Unfortunately, there is not a super simple, easy peasy, your kids got it way to learn to tie their shoes. So it is age appropriate for about 4 to 5 years old, which is why it's usually a skill taught in kindergarten. If you want to try it with kids younger than that, you can, but be ready for it to be more challenging for them with the fine motor and being able to do it. They can remember things when they're younger, but it is harder for them to be able to do that, which is why we see so many Velcro shoes before they are 4 or 5 years old. So here are my tips for you. You do not have to do a printout. I will link one in the description. The reason why a printout like this is going to be easier for the kids to start is because they can lay it flat on a table or on the floor, and they can make the loops and lay them down and see it easier than having to hold it up and be able to do all of that in the air on a shoe. Okay, so it is easier for them to learn how to do it flat. Okay, so if it's flat, then it's a little easier for them to make the loops. They can lay one down even and then make the next loop before they cross it, put one through. If you notice, I do the process with 2 bunny ears, make an X, put one through the hole, do it again. So if you're going to be doing it twice anyway, you might as well do the same thing 2 times. And so this process with 2 ears, make an X, put one through, and then the second knot, the double knot, is exactly the same. So they can repeat the same step twice. All right. I also find that that system of the 2 bunny ears gets tangled less, which means there's going to be less knots for you to take out. There still will be some because kids like to make it very tight, but there will be less knots for you to have to pick out than them tying, with just the single one like this, and then again and again and again, and they have a whole string full of knots. All right. So first tip would be to do something flat when they're first starting, because they can make a loop and they can lay it down, make a loop, lay it down. It's easier for them to get their hands around it and do it if they have something flat to do instead of on a shoe. My second tip is, and also with that tip is to do the 2 bunny ears, because they can repeat it twice. Cross over, pull it through, and then cross over, pull it through again. And you've got your double knot, which hopefully will stay for the whole day. Unless they are in school and their teacher is teaching them a different process. And then I would go with whichever one, so that you're both on the same page, because to teach them something different while they're trying to learn one process would be more confusing and more difficult for them. So the next tip is buy new shoelaces. This is a very big tip. Every pair of shoes I have for my daughter, the laces are too short. I mean, these are some of the longer ones, but even when I'm tying her shoes, I don't have enough slack to do it. I'm like very tiny doing them this big, and I'm an adult and I know how to tie shoes. So this is not going to be enough for your child to learn how to do it, and they're going to get very frustrated. They need more than enough. If you see on this, I didn't even lace it up here to pretend. I just put it through the top one because I wanted them to have plenty of string to where they can really get their hands on here when they're learning and make big loops and make a big X and have a big hole to pull it through. So it's worth $3 to go get a longer pair of laces to put in your kids' shoes for them to practice with, and then for them to have in their shoes. If they drag the ground a little bit and they get dirty, I'm telling you, it's worth it. It is way easier for them with longer laces to learn than it is with these teeny tiny short laces that come with the shoes. So almost every pair of shoes that we have bought, and we've just used the same white pair of laces. She gets a new pair of shoes. Old white laces we replace and put into the new ones, and you can wash them. And so it's a well worth a $3 or $4 investment to have longer laces for them to learn how to tie their shoes. So there's that as the next one. Practice. Every time you tie their shoes for them, you say the words so that they're hearing it over and over. And then remember, this is going to be very frustrating for them. So my last tip is, do not let them see your frustration. Okay? When they say, I can't do it, it's not working, you say, well, that's okay. Do you want to try again? Do you want me to help you? Give them that option. If they say, I want you to help me, well, then say, okay, I'll help you this time. And you say the words as you do it. You say, would you like me to help you? Or would you like to try it again? Then allow them the option of trying it again, but with your voice and your tone, you make it sound like, well, it takes a lot of practice. It took me a long time to learn how to tie my shoes, and you just keep going with it, okay? If they see you getting flustered, if they say never mind, I'll do it for you, or we're in a hurry, don't practice tying shoes when you're in a hurry, first of all. That's not the good time to practice it. So you keep your calm and let them know it's going to take a long time. It's probably going to take all the time until you're 6 years old or whenever. If they get it earlier, awesome. But always repeat the words to them and keep your calm, and that will help as well. So buy longer laces, practice on something flat with tying, and be sure to repeat the words over and over and over again. And again, I like the 2 bunny ears because it's repeating the same thing once, repeating the same thing again for the double knot, and there's less knots when they're learning for you to pull out. Okay, I think that visual is, if you happen to have a bunny with long ears, we just happen to have one as an Easter present, then that is helpful too for them to practice in the very beginning, because they can get their hands on this and they can do the X and they can learn to push one through even before they're making the loops. So they can even start with that. So good luck. If you have any questions, comments, leave them down below. Be sure to like and subscribe and share, and let me know what video topics you'd like me to do next. Have a great day. Bye, everyone.